welcome to F1 2014. Now today we're going to be doing a season mode in Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes AMG, but we're going to be starting from last place on the grid for every race. Position 22 on the grid it's going to be 25% race distance, Legend AI, and we're starting off in Australia. Right, so we're preparing for the race. As you can see, the grid order looks like this. We have Nico Rosberg on pole position, Sebastian Vettel in second, Daniel Ricciardo third, Fernando Alonso fourth, Nico Hülkenberg in fifth, Kimi Raikkonen sixth, Kevin Magnussen seventh, Felipe Massa eighth, his teammate Valtteri Bottas in ninth, and rounding out the top 10 is Sergio Perez. The weather looks like this. We have no rain scheduled for the race, dry race, and our strategy for the race is one stop on lap 6, switching to the prime tyres. Let's go to the race. Lined up for the grid now. We are ready with 2 red lights, 3, 4, and that's 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Australian Grand Prix. Get off to an okay start. See how many places we can gain going into turn 1. Get into the slipstream with the cars in front. With a huge lunge down the inside of a lot of cars, up into P13, P14 that is. Now back down to P15 on the outside of Romain Grosjean in the Lotus. See how many places we can make now going into turns 3 as we go down the inside of a lot of cars up into P9 now behind the 2 Williams who are battling in front. Through turn 4 we go up close behind Valtteri Bottas, but he starts to pull away a little bit. Going through turn 5 we get really close up to the back of Valtteri Bottas as he had to slow down because of his teammate. We go down the inside of him and Bottas going into turn 6. Up next is Kimi Raikkonen. Now coming to the end of sector 2 of the first lap, we have Felipe Massa behind us in P8, Kimi Raikkonen in front of us in P6. We are 1.2 seconds behind Kimi Raikkonen. See if we can close that gap up before lap 3, then we'll be able to get DRS on him. With Felipe Massa behind us trying to make a move, doesn't go for it. As we go through turn 13 and now going through turn 14, slowly closing the gap on Kimi Raikkonen in front. Now coming up to the penultimate corner, we go deep into it, get round it nicely, accelerate away, try and catch Kimi Raikkonen in front. We are nowhere near him at the moment. See if we can get in a little bit of slipstream, keep Felipe Massa behind us. We seem to have pulled a little bit of gap behind him, which is good. Now turn 1, fast through turn 1, out through turn 2. Coming to the end of the second sector in lap 2, we're still quite a far bit behind Kimi Raikkonen. He's pulled the gap out to 1.4 seconds. Felipe Massa is still right on our gearbox coming to the final sector of lap 2. Going through turn 14 now, we are close the gap on Kimi Raikkonen. Turn 15 now, we are right behind him. See if we can get a good exit coming out of the final corner, so we can get into the slipstream of him in front. Going down into turn 1, let's see if we can make a move.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you're within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
We don't make a move, but we're still right behind him. We have closed the gap to just over half a second behind him. Coming now into turn 3. We are really right up the gearbox of him. He is also up the gearbox of his teammate Fernando Alonso in front, which is slightly holding him up, giving us the advantage to try and make a move. Coming through turn 5 and hopefully make a move turn 6. We run really wide on the exit of turn 5, but we're now really close behind Kimi Raikkonen coming into turn 6. Still haven't made the move yet, coming up to start of the 3rd sector and lap 3. Kimi Raikkonen has pulled away a little bit, but Massa has really closed the gap on us. He's just over 3 tenths behind us. But as we look ahead, going into turn 13, Kimi Raikkonen has gone really deep, trying to overtake his teammate, and we've managed to pull a move off down the inside, and now into P6. Up next, Fernando Alonso. Partway through lap 4, we have caught up with Fernando Alonso, going up into turn 6 and 7. We go purple in the 1st sector, 1.1 seconds faster than my previous lap. We're going to go down the inside of Fernando Alonso now, going into turn 8 and 9. We make the move stick. We're now up into position 5. Hulkenberg next. We've managed to create a small gap to Fernando Alonso behind. Let's try and catch Nico Hulkenberg. Slowly catching him as we come to the end of lap 4, going run a little bit wide, going through turn 14, but we still keep the gap pretty close to Nico Hulkenberg. Can we get DRS? We do, we get DRS. We are within 1 second of him. End of lap 5, DRS again, still behind Nico Hulkenberg. We can't see him. Now we've got Fernando Alonso right up our rear end. Looks like he's going to make a move. It doesn't. Stays behind us. We stay in P5. DRS again. Going to rich mix to try if we can push, because we are hopefully coming in at the end of this lap. Slowly catching Nico Hulkenberg for the 1st sector. We go purple again, 9 tenths faster than our last lap through that sector. And we are right up behind Nico Hulkenberg, just 4 tenths behind him. Let's see if we can make a move going into the 2nd sector through turn 9 and 10. Really close to him. After we come through 11 and 12, we are right behind him going down straight up to turn 13. We make a move down the inside and to turn 13. We make it stick and we get the position. Now up into P4. Our teammate is in position 3 in front of us. However, we should be going for a pit stop on this lap, but we're not. We're going to go for an extra lap because we've got really good pace and see if we can close the gap on the 2 Red Bulls and our teammates who are up in front of us. Fastest lap for the race, which is good. See if we can close the gap on teammate Nico Rosberg. As we can see, we are now in position 3. Reason being, one of the Red Bulls looks like it is pitted for exchange of tyres. We go purple again in the 1st sector. We're nailing these 1st sectors really well. Going purple again. 4.8 seconds behind Nico Rosberg in 2nd, and we have gained a gap of 1.3 onto Nico Hulkenberg. We don't go into the pit for another lap because of our pace is good. The tyre wear is slightly starting to degrade now. We're now in P2 because Ricciardo is now pitted. Now on to lap 8. We still haven't pitted yet. A gap of 5.494 seconds behind our teammate Nico Rosberg and 6 seconds ahead of Kimi Raikkonen in P3. Hopefully we will come in to the pits at the end of this lap because the tyres have really degraded now, starting to struggle a little bit going through corners. getting a bit of oversteer as we come out of the corners. End of lap 8, we now finally decide to come into the pits, change to the prime tyres, white wall tyres, and see how well we can do in this pit stop. Not too bad, 3.8 seconds, which is pretty quick, just under the 4 second mark. See how many places we can either gain or how much time we can gain on the cars in front when we come out of the pits. So far, we are now into position 4, coming out of the pit lane. Sebastian Vettel in front of us, his teammate Daniel Ricciardo in front of him. Tyres are slightly cool, we've got to try and heat them up. Going to first sector, doing really well, hitting these apexes through turn 5, now coming up to turn 6 and 7. We just see a glimpse of Sebastian Vettel in front of us going through turn 6 and 7. We are 3.5 seconds behind him with 6 laps to go. We should be able to catch him. With the pace we've had before we came for the pit stop, we had great pace, purple sectors. Hopefully we can use that again to try and catch him. Now starting lap 10, see what the gap is. The gap to Vettel is 3.9. We have lost a bit of time in the last couple of laps. However, we have got a comfortable gap to Hulkenberg behind us, 3.5 seconds. He should not be any bother coming to the last 5 laps of this race. Coming to the end of lap 10. Sebastian Vettel still in front of us. See if we can catch him. Laps are ticking down. See if we've ticked down the time between us. 3.3. We have gained a few tenths through that lap, which is good. 7 seconds faster than our previous lap, obviously because we've just come out of the pits. Lap 11, 3.3 seconds behind Vettel. Now comes to the start of lap 13. We have closed the gap to Sebastian Vettel drastically. 2 seconds only separates us both. We are pushing really hard now, using extra fuel that we've got, any spare fuel that we've got, to try and catch him and try and get position 3, which is a podium. Slowly closing the gap to Vettel. 1.6 seconds now separates the two of us, with his teammate not too far in front of him actually. So hopefully we can close the gap on Vettel, overtake, maybe try and push for second place. Depends on how quickly we can catch Vettel, that is. We go purple in the second sector, which is really good. 1.2 seconds now is the gap between us. We're slowly closing. However, the laps are running out. Starting lap 14 now. See what the gap is. 1.8 seconds. Our third sector is not too great. However, our first and second sectors should be able to close the gap back up to him. Purple in the first sector again. We are really strong in the first sector. Coming through towards the end of the second sector, we are really close behind Sebastian Vettel now, but time is running out. After we finish this lap, there is only one more lap left. We go purple again through the second sector. We are really pushing really hard to try and catch him, because we can gain points on Nico Rosberg as well. Starting the final lap now, we go purple on that lap. We are now within DRS range of Sebastian Vettel. It's a make or break move now. This lap is either P3 or P4. Now coming down to turn 3, we are slowly closing the gap on Sebastian Vettel. We're going to make a move down the inside of him. We clip the rear end of him, we spin, but we make the move stick just about. We get a little bit of oversteer coming through that corner, but we've managed to make it stick. Position 3. Now all we have to do is try and defend from him re-overtaking us through the rest of this lap. Hopefully we can hold on. Let's find out. Now going through turn 9 and 10, coming towards the end of the second sector. We are only half a second ahead of Sebastian Vettel. We slightly cut turn 11, hit the little camera, but no damage is done. Through turn 13 now, which is our weaker corners. Turn 13 and 14 are our weaker sector. We go really wide turn 14, go into the grabber a little bit, keep the back end, but looks like we're going to hold on to P3. Nico Rosberg, our teammate, has won the race. Sebastian Vettel going to try and race us to the line, but we managed to make it. And we have finished in P3, get in.
That's a great third place. Congratulations, 15 points.
As you can see in the standings, we managed to get 15 points in this race, finishing in position 3. Our teammate Nico Rosberg finishing in first place with 25 points. Daniel Ricciardo finishing in between us in second. His teammate Sebastian Vettel finishing in fourth place. Nico Hülkenberg in fifth. Fernando Alonso in sixth. And his teammate Kimi Raikkonen in seventh. As we go down, we can see that there was 0 DNF. Everyone finished the race. No one got lapped either, which is good. Next up is Malaysia. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you and bye.